Final exam practice test, question 6. Now we're getting into the more complicated stuff. I'll write a method named getTargetString. This is where it might be helpful to start labeling things. So named getTargetString. So here's the name of the method. That takes is your key that this is parameter list is coming next. Okay, so an array of integers. This is parameter 1. Target value, param2, and returns a string. Returns a string, containing all the numbers below the target value. Okay, so that gives me enough to write my method header. Let's see how I do. I know my method is going to look, doesn't say whether this is static or not, and it doesn't matter for the purposes of the exam. If you put this static in or not, you will not get points off in either case. The return type is string because it says it returns a string. And the name is given to you, getTargetString. Takes says here comes the parameter list, an array of integers. It doesn't say what to name it, so I'm just going to say it's an array named R. And a target value, the target value, okay, so what type is that? We're returning a string containing all the numbers below the target value. So if this is my key, that target value is a number. And since we're dealing with ints here, I'm going to call it int target. Now I have a whole bunch of space available for my method. Since I'm typing in Acrobat, every time I save, it's going to collapse my spaces. So I'm not going to put in my end bracket, but if you think you might forget your end bracket, you could put one in down here. That would be a good thing to do. Anywhere down there. Give yourself lots of space. So I am supposed, it looks like I have to go through the array one at a time, and then I have to collect in my string if the number is below the target value. So that sounds like number 1. I need to return a string. So low numbers. I'll initialize it to empty string maybe. And it sounds like I'm going to be using a loop here. So let me write that. It doesn't say anything about whether the array is full, and so I'm going to assume that it is. And it's fine for you to do the same thing. Okay, now this would be another good time to put another curly bracket in to end your for loop, which I can't really do because I'm typing here, but you could totally do that if you're writing, and then you'll be sure that you've completed your for loop correctly with all your brackets. So my goal here is to check the current thing in the array, if my r sub I, and see if it is less than the target value. If it is less than the target value, then I'm going to add that number to my string of low numbers. Low numbers plus equals r sub I. It's fine to concatenate onto a string like that without anything fancy going on. And then I just go through that. That's what my loop does. There's my if. If I had not ended my for loop yet, I could end it here. By the time I've entered my for loop, my string should be right, and I can just return low numbers. Here's the end of my method.